everybody. This is Stuart Jean coming back at you here from Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California with Drum Magazine. Here we are in January 2020, and let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to look at working man's Latin grooves. Latin grooves take years to perfect, and I really feel like you kind of have to be born with it and born in that environment. But if you're a gigging drummer, a rock guy, a jazz guy, drum corps guy trying to switch into getting into playing gigs on the drum set, a couple Latin patterns are good to have, so let's just call this like Latin 101 here. We're going to start out with the Mambo. There's, again, many versions and all this, but this is just a great coordination exercise for you. I wouldn't try bending the time or adding any inflection for now. I'm just going to play it straight down the middle, with basically a 16th note counting pattern in cut time. The Mambo has the cascara, which is the basically the ride or hi-hat cowbell pattern. We want to feel it in 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2 E, a 1 and a E, a 1 and 2 E, a 1 and a E. All right, that's basically it. You can play it on the rim of the drum. One and 2 E, a 1 and a E, a 1 and 2 E, a 1 and a E, a 1. That's your overlying pattern, okay? Next, you want to add the bass drum. It's a 1-bar pattern. It's played over a 2-bar phrase, obviously. 1, and, 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 and. So it doesn't play on 1. It might occasionally, obviously, if you listen to this music, you'll hear that happen. But again, just as a general pattern. Okay, then you're going to line those two instruments up there, the cascara and the bass drum pattern. Okay, the bass drum, you'll notice it's important with these kind of grooves to know are independent notes being played, when is it sort of linear, and when are the notes aligning up. So in this case, there's only one time. It's basically a linear pattern, except for right there. All right, the of 1 on the second measure. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, Okay, right there. That gives you something to hold on to while you're trying to work out the coordination. The problem with working out some of these syncopated grooves like this is, especially when you're young, there'll be tension while you're playing, and that becomes a habitual, and you can't play the pattern without that muscle memory kicking into some sort of tension. So you want to be able to undo all that as well. You're going to be tense at first doing this, and then once it starts to the muscle memory lines up and you're not thinking about it so hard, the next step is to think about, am I tense anywhere? I tend to play heel down when I'm playing Latin music, just kind of keep myself settled. Okay, up on the bell. Okay. And then next we have our clave pattern. This mambo pattern we're calling a 2-3 son clave. All right, there's different types of clave patterns. This one's called 2-3. This is a 2-bar pattern. In the first bar, we have 2 notes, and then in the second measure, we have 3 notes. 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and a 2. When you put the cascara and the clave pattern together, finally, we want to get the bass drum back in there. So the only time in this pattern where all 3 limbs, all 3 voices line up. So you want to make sure you're thinking about that right in the middle of the whole groove there. Okay, and that's going to get you started. Again, we're not doing a deep dive going all the way down that rabbit hole into all the possibilities. I think that's what scares a lot of people away from this, is you buy a book and there's so much and you just feel like you're so behind. It's like, man, just get this one down. And it's okay if it's not completely authentic. Just get it lining up, use it as an exercise, and then you can start listening to more of this music. And that will, by osmosis, you'll just start to learn how to play it better. And, you can go as far as you want with this, really. So that's it, everyone. We're going to look at some Afro-Cuban and some samba and some songo for the weeks coming. And I'm just going to play this to a track just so it makes a little sense with some context. So thanks a lot, everyone. I will see you on the next one. Take care.